Hello guys, it's Modesty, and today I'm going to be doing probably one of my favorite videos because it's my favorite season. I'm going to be showing you how you can get a beautiful fall look because it's coming up. Even though it's 200 degrees outside, it's coming up. So without rambling on any longer, let's get on with the video. When I think of fall, I think of three colors, and that is orange, yellow, and brown. So that's what the look is going to be based off of. I think I'm going to stick today with going in with the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette and a lot of the Zulu palette. Now I will say a perfect dupe for this would be the Profusion Cosmetics Sienna's palette. You can get this at Walmart. She's a little dirty. This is a perfect dupe for that. Actually, I may even dip into that. Who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera, and I'll be back for the eyes. We're going for subtle eyebrows today, apparently. That's the one thing I can never literally just ever control is how my eyebrows are looking at that certain day. Instead of going in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot today, I think I'm gonna go in with Juvia's Place concealer in shade 24. I'm going to conceal the brows with this, and then I'm also going to drag it to the lid to use that as a primer. Okay, I lied. I got a little bit closer, and I did the other eye off camera, and so I know what I'm going to be doing, and so I can explain it all better to y'all. Because we all know when I do looks, I don't plan it out ever. I'm just like, I want to do a look, and I do it. And this is what I came up with. So I'm going to be able to explain it a lot better, so I'm going to show you now on this eye. Going in with Juvia's Place, I've already said this, but I'm going to be carving out my brow and using this concealer to set the eye. And I think it did really good with making the colors pop and keeping them vibrant, especially with the bright colors that I used. I'm gonna look like this for a while. The first thing that I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be dipping into the shade Lynn, and you don't need this palette, like there's plenty of other dupes. I'm gonna be taking this kind of bum colored shade right here, and I'm gonna be packing this all over my lid. This is gonna ensure that everything's set, 'cause I do wanna set it so it blends a lot easier. It's gonna go basically everywhere that we put that concealer, blending it up. Another fluffy brush, I'm going to be dipping into the Juvia's Place palette into that bright yellow, and I know Walmart does have another Profusion, I think it's the Festival palette, that does have a very bright yellow. Juvia's Place is really cheap too, so it just depends if you want to order it because it is online. But the Walmart does have the Festival palette. This is the Profusion. This is really good too. I've dipped into it, of course you can tell because it's dirty. I'm just going to be taking that on a big fluffy brush, packing it on, and I'm just going to begin blending that all the way out. And I'm only going to be focusing it on the outside of my eye, right above my crease on the outer corner at first, and then I'll slowly start dragging it when it's blended enough into the inner corner. And you always want to make sure you're dragging it up and blending it to the brow bone so it looks even more blended. And then when you have it all the way blended out, I'm going to dip back in, and I'm just going to add it, and I'm going to keep adding it until it gets that vibrant yellow that I want. Now after I've gotten the color I wanted, I'm actually going to be dipping in. I'm going to be dipping into the same palette, but right beside it I'm going to pick up that really bright orange, and I'm going to take it on one of a Morphe oval brush that doesn't have a number on it. And then I'm just going to be packing this into my crease, and then to ensure that it's blended, I'm going to be using the same brush that we used for the yellow without dipping into any product, and I'm going to be blending that out. I'm going to be doing the same thing to this side, and I'm going to focus it onto the outer corner, and then I'm going to be dragging it when it is blended into the inner. Since we've lost that yellow color a little bit, I'm going to be going back into that same yellow color that we picked up from the Juvia's Place palette. This is, oh I forgot, this is the Zulu palette. I forgot to say that. It's the Zulu palette. But I'm just going to be slightly adding that back, going over the orange. Then without any product, I'm going to be blending some more of the excess orange back into the yellow. It's really all about picking up the colors and blending them and going back and adding them and then blending them more. That's how you get the best results for blending. Now that I've got the color that I want, I lied at the beginning of the video, I am going to be dipping into the Sienna's palette. I took a little bit of Dynasty and Cryptic and I mixed those together, and I'm just going to add that right underneath that bright orange shade so it'll deepen it up a little bit. So when we do our cut crease, it looks a lot more prominent and it makes that line look a lot sharper. Not wanting to drag this too high because we still want that bright orange shade, so we have like just kind of an array of colors going on. I'm going to take that on the same oval brush and I'm just going to be blending that into the crease. Again, going back in with the orange and the yellow, I'm going to add it again, and then I'm going to be blending in the darker orange. Now to deepen it up even more, I'm going to be going into the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette. I'm going to be dipping in with the same oval brush into Boss Angeles. It's a deep kind of, I don't like pumpkin spice, but it's like a pumpkin spice color. I think it's so weird because I love fall so much, but like pumpkin spice makes me want to throw up. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm sort of like I like apple cider, like, give me some eggnog. I know there's more Christmas, but eggnog is my fall thing. Like, I don't know. That's the one thing I always look forward to going to Thanksgiving and Christmas at my Mimi's is when she makes her apple cider, because it's literally the best thing ever. I'm going to be taking that shade and I'm going to be dragging it just on the lid. I'm also going to be blending that up. Again, going back with all the other shades and blending them in some more and adding the color back. I'm now going to be taking an M208, dipping into the Morphe X Jeffree palette into the shade Hi Dude, and I'm going to be, it's kind of got a little bit of glitter, but it's a darker brown. I didn't even realize there was glitter until I looked into it. Oh, Fallout, man. These are pigmented. Since this shade is really, really pigmented and I'm going on with a more dense brush, I'm going to be just very slightly tapping it onto the outer corner right at the very bottom so I can take another brush and blend it out because we don't want to drag this too far up. To blend this out, I'm going to be taking an M209 and I'm just going to start by blending it onto the lid a little bit and then I'll start blending it up. Since we lost a little bit of the color, I'm just going to be going back in because there's still product on the brush and I'm going to be adding more. Just in the crease, I'm going to start taking it once it's blended out on the outer corner and I'm going to be dragging it into the crease. Another big mistake that I used to make all the time is I wouldn't take it and I wouldn't blend it out right there for some reason where my eye ends, and when you turn you would see just a blank little spot right there and it looked really bad. So just make sure you're blending right there too. That's why sometimes I do my eyeshadow first so I don't get it on my makeup if I want to do that. So just make sure you're blending it out right there too, because we can always clean it up if it's too far out. Taking the same concealer that we used to prime our lids, I'm going to be taking a fairer brush. This is the 10F concealer brush, and I'm going to be using this to cut my crease. This is a really skinny flat brush, so it's really, really good for getting and stamping in the product and making that line and cut crease that we want to. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this already, but if you want to add just a little bit and then look up, it's going to give you that mark to where you want to put your cut crease. And then I just like to slowly stamp. This does take a while, but I just like to slowly stamp because it gives you the perfect line. I don't like to try to drag it unless there's no product. But I'm just going to slowly start stamping product on and adding more when I need it. Another good tip with a cut crease is that when you're doing it, if you start at the bottom and use most of the product at the bottom, then when you get to the top, it's going to be easier to make that line and stamp it on because you won't have to be worrying about the concealer smudging as you get to the top. This is a half cut crease, but since I'm going to be adding a lot of shadows on top of it, I'm going to make sure that the outside is kind of over that brown just a little bit so we can blend all of those shadows evenly. Just take your time with this and just start by stamping. Blend the concealer out, and you can always remove some on the back of your hand. And another thing I like to do is I like to take my finger and just tap off the excess, not getting close to the line. Then in the Sienna's palette, I'm going to be taking this shade Polite, and I'm going to be packing that onto that white shade all over. I want to make sure that you are packing this on generously because we don't want the other shades to be bleeding over into this. You don't really have to worry about it getting the outer part as white as you can, just because we're going to be adding shades over it. But you want to make sure that you're packing on the white shade in the inner corner, just so we can have that nice gradient effect. Next part, I'm going to be using two brushes, but since I have my Color Switch Mini, it's the Veramona one, I'm going to be taking this and taking the product off of the brushes, so it makes it a lot easier so you don't have to use as many brushes. This is a Tarte brush. It doesn't have a name or anything. It's just a very skinny oval brush. It's very dense. I'm going to be packing on the colors with this, and then I'm going to be blending them out with a Morphe M506. It's a very fluffy brush, but it's very oval and small. And what I'm going to be doing is going in order from the shades that I used, but backwards. I'm going to be starting with that burnt orange shade, and I'm going to be adding this at an angle up into that brown shade. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be adding them at first, and I'm going to wait to blend them after, but I'm just going to wipe the brush off, and you can always just wipe it off on like your pants if you want to do that, because I have pants that I do that with. My pajama pants, yeah, I do that. No judging there. Then I'm going to be going back in with the bright orange from the Juvia's Place palette and adding that right beside it. Switching the brush again, I'm going to be adding last yellow shade from the Juvia's Place palette. Now going back the other way, adding again that orange shade. And I'm just going to keep adding these shades until they get very vibrant looking. Now that I have the colors that I want, I'm now going to be blending these out into each other and then going back again, and I'm going to be adding some more color to it. Just going back and forth, blending and adding until I get the product that I want. Since it took up most of the lid, I'm then going to go back into that bone colored shape from the Sienna's palette, and I'm going to be adding it on top of it and blending it in with the colors. I'm going to be taking that brown shade that's and blending it in to the rest and up more into the crease. Taking the tiny little oval fluffy brush, I'm going to be taking just a little bit of that dark shade and adding it right over the cut crease line just to make it more prominent. I wanted a little bit more of a pop on the cut crease, so I'm going to be adding the Too Faced Glitter Pop Peel Off Eyeliner just right onto it. I'm now going to be using the M506, and I'm going to be repeating the colors that I use just underneath my lower lash line. I'm going to be doing my face off camera because I'm going to be doing my normal everyday face routine, just a different lip color, and I'll be back with some lashes and a new lip color. Alrighty guys, I added lashes, and then I added the Milani liquid lipstick in the shade Covet. I think that's how you say it. And then I forgot how much I love this highlighter. Is the Milani Trio highlighter, and I used to wear it all the time, and I think I'm going to have to start wearing it again. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.